has Ouija has entered the chat? Great question. So to take a step back, we have to look at the two governing groups, as it were. So we have flag state control, which is denoted by whatever flag the ship is flying, and we normally typically refer to it as where is she flagged? And in this case, it's Australia. Then we have port state control, and so that's when you sail into whichever port you're in, you are subject to port state control of that country, and they can come aboard and do a port state inspection control. So the interesting thing about this is AMSA, which is the Australian Maritime Safety Authority, they are the government authority that does port state control for Australia, and they are renowned for being an absolute beast for port state control. In the Asia Pacific region, it's something like 5 to 7 is the order of magnitude of the number of detentions and bannings that AMSA does to foreign flagged vessels when they come to Australia. So port state control is basically mutual buy-in obligations to enable international trade, to say, hey, we've got the International Maritime Organization, the IMO, which sits under the UN, and that has got a number of conventions that trickle down through domestic law, and they say, right, we're all going to abide by these regulations. We're all got the same minimum level of standards. Flag state might have higher standards on top of that, but this is the bare minimum across all the countries that have signed up to these conventions. So deficiencies are essentially when the port state control goes on and says, right, do you meet minimum standards that we've all agreed to? And you could be pinged for deficiencies for a number of reasons. You could have like safety equipment, navigational equipment, crew qualifications, crew conditions. You know, is their accommodation big enough? Are they getting enough rest hours? Are you paying them properly or at all? Documentation, fire safety equipment, and the type of detention or the type of deficiency and the severity of the deficiency will dictate what kind of detention. So some might be minor. They're like, listen, this is not great, you need to fix it. And it may be, okay, you're going to stay here until you fix it. Or it's going to be, you're going to stay here until you fix it, and then you're not coming back. You're not coming back for 3, 6, 12 months. That is entirely possible that a port state control can say, get out. So what happened here was, Spirit of Tasmania is an Australian flagged vessel. It operates between Devonport and Geelong across the Bass Strait, and it went up for dry docking in Singapore. And so dry docking happens usually every 5 years, give or take, if it's scheduled maintenance, and they take the ship out of the water, which is not designed to live outside the water for any length of time, and they do all maintenance that they need to do, pop it back in the water, and sail back to where they want to trade. It appears that as it was finished all its dry docking, finished all its maintenance, was sailing back, wanting to come sail back to Australia, and Port State Control said, we're doing an inspection, and that's when they found the deficiencies. So the deficiencies that have been reported was in the fire detection system and the visitor log. So the visitor log is more paper-based. The fire detection system is, are we being alerted to fires at sea are very, very dangerous, as I think we can all agree. So the deficiencies also, if you really want to get into it, they all have codes. And if you go onto the AMSA website, so the Australian Maritime Safety Authority website, they have so many codes that they've put them into categories. So we've got certificates and documentation, structural conditions, water and weather tight conditions, emergency systems, radio communications, cargo operations, including equipment, fire safety, alarms, safety of navigation, life-saving appliances, dangerous goods, propulsion and auxiliary machine, pollution prevention, ISM, International Safety Management Code, labour conditions, and other. So essentially it is, hey, we've all agreed that this is the minimum level of standards of your ship, of your operations, that we've all agreed to, that you agree you're going to abide by. And we're going to do spot checks. And you fell short during a spot check, and now we need to fix it. So I hope that has helped a little bit. If you've got any more questions, I would love to answer some more.